Hello, YNABers. My name is Jesse Meekum, and this is podcast number 32 for You Need a Budget, where we teach you 4 rules to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. Today, I'm going to talk about my own journey to get out of debt. I've been in debt 3 times in my life. The first time was for a mattress and box springs right before I got married. I got married young. I think I was 22, just turned 22 a few months before, and I had a lot of school left, and someone had told me along the way that I should get a credit card so I could build my credit. Whether you agree or disagree with that advice, I followed it and got myself a credit card from my bank. Then, in order to build my credit, I started using it. And one of the things I purchased was a box spring and mattress. I think it was for $300 from this kind of like a Goodwill place. It was a new mattress, but it was still cheap. And I was going to get married in a few months or a few weeks. I can't recall exactly when. And so I bought that mattress fully intending to pay it back, and then I forgot to pay it back. I don't know why, but I wasn't using a budget at the time because I wasn't married, and YNAB wasn't born until after I got married. But I forgot, and so I carried a $300 balance. It was like my second month using the card, and from that point on, I said, "Oh, I'm not using this anymore. This is dumb." But then I got married and started using YNAB and getting all the benefits of that in my life with my wife, and we ended up going back to using a card, never carried a balance again. But then I was spending a lot of money on the business in 2009, which is, I think, when we were going to launch YNAB 3. We launched it right at the end of 2009. And I'd been using a credit card in the business for about a year and paying it all off. And the business was profitable, so I wasn't worried about paying it off. And then we started doing some serious investment into YNAB 3 at the time. And it was just me and Taylor, our single developer, and no one else full-time or anything like that. Costs were pretty low, but we were just pouring everything into YNAB 3. And I recall using the card, and I was paying a firm, and then I remember raiding my own personal emergency fund. We had set a goal to launch by the end of the year. It was an arbitrary date, and it was dumb that we did that, and we're never going to do public release dates like that again for that reason. So we were just scrambling. I was paying this firm as much as we could, and they were spitting out code that wasn't up to snuff, in Taylor's opinion, most of which is not in YNAB 3 anymore. It's all been replaced. So we were just doing anything we could to get it out the door, and that included me charging stuff on the card. So I raided my personal emergency fund. Then I used the personal credit card. Then I used the business credit card. And from November to December of 2009, I floated about $20-some thousand on the credit cards. And then we launched YNAB 3, luckily, and I was able to pay it off. I would not recommend that same route to anyone. I would just say, go slower. Just go slower. Go a few weeks or months slower. It's not a big deal. The risk, it just didn't outweigh. I mean, the risk outweighed the reward. The reward of a few months wasn't worth it. What if something would have really gone south, and then I would have been having that, that balance? I couldn't believe the interest on that balance. It was crazy, and I couldn't believe their proposed minimum payment either. That was also crazy. So that was time number 2. Before actually that one happened, we bought a house. So that was time number 3. And I want to share. I don't think I've ever publicly shared what I did to pay off my mortgage. It didn't have much to do with YNAB. It actually had a lot to do with another venture I was working on with a friend, where we would basically flip websites. It was interesting and yeah, fairly lucrative, and not, it wasn't crazy, but I did get crazy about paying off the mortgage. When I got married, I set a goal to have a home paid for by the time I was 30. And I'm now 31. The home's been paid for a little bit. I told Julie this. She was on board with it. I told her, hey, we're going to really buckle down. We bought a nice home in 2009. Oh, was it the same year we launched YNAB 3? No wonder I was so stressed. I think that might have been, yeah. I think it was 2000. I can't remember now, guys. I'm sorry. I'm rambling. 2008. We bought it in 2008. June. And then we launched YNAB 3 in end of 2009. And then 2010 hits, and I'm going to be 30 by the end of that year. And so I'm thinking I got to really get going on this. And we'd been paying extra payments where we could, but there was a huge chunk. I mean, we put a pretty good chunk down as well. We've been saving for it quite a bit up to that. But we had a lot to pay off. And so I told Julie we were really going to buckle down. And our house stayed empty for about 2.5 years. We didn't furnish it a lot. It was a larger house, but we had no furniture. Like, it was just bare bones. And I think people thought we were, I don't know, maybe they thought we were a little bit crazy. But it was an empty house, and I was working hard on paying it down. Then I talked with my awesome accountant, and he is awesome. His name's Casey Murdoch. And if you have complex tax issues, or you own multiple businesses or a business, and you don't want to do your own taxes, I don't recommend you should, to be honest. If you have a tax situation that could afford professional, I recommend Casey. You can reach him at casey@youndiplan.com, YOU. Anyway, he's awesome. And he basically tells me that I owe a ton of money in taxes. And that kind of put a damper on my whole house payoff plan, because I didn't want to miss my date. And I'd already done this really dumb thing about 4 months prior to that, or 5 months, where I said I wouldn't cut my hair until I'd paid off my mortgage. And I hate having long hair. So I ended up, sticking to that goal. My hair was getting really long, and the IRS was owed a lot of money. And so for the next few months, I had to basically make a choice to pay the IRS or pay off my house. I made what I think was probably I could say in hindsight, everything was fine. I don't know if I would recommend this to anyone, but I'm allowed to do it for myself because I'm taking my own risk. But I didn't pay the IRS. I paid off the house first and just threw everything we could at it. And then once the house was paid off, I paid the IRS. And I think I paid a late fee to them of several hundred, maybe even about $1,000 in late fees. I don't remember. It was fairly significant. But I was so intensely focused on having the house paid off that at that time, I just didn't really care. And my hair was getting so long, I had to cut it. Whenever I have something I want to achieve, I attach it to not cutting my hair. And that sounds kind of dumb, and it probably is. But the point of it is, every time I wash my hair, every time I look at my hair, every time I run my hand through my too long hair, I am reminded of my goal. And I think that's the key. Having your goal always in front of you, every single, self-help guru type, change your life situation, they always are talking about writing down your goals and then repeating them to yourself multiple times per day. And that's what not cutting my hair does for me. In the end, we don't have any debt now. I still use a credit card for the business, and we pay it off every month. I enjoy the points. Got a crock pot a few months ago with those points. Anyway, so yeah, we're enjoying being debt-free. And the experience that I had buckling down and attacking that is something that'll stick with me for a long time. I'm now not cutting my hair for a completely other reason. And I hope to reach that goal fairly soon. Otherwise, I'll start to get kind of crazy. I'm not sure if I follow the same line of Samson, where as my hair gets longer, my ability to achieve the goal becomes greater. And I'm not certain what my Delilah is in that situation either. But at any rate, it worked for me. Incessant focus on one thing only really has a lot of merit. And I think that's why you'll hear folks like Dave Ramsey, who I think honestly get the psychology better than a lot of the naysayers. he knows that if you focus on just one thing, your likelihood of achieving it will increase dramatically, even if you have the IRS down on you and, peeking over the hedge, metaphorically, perhaps. Until next time, follow YNAB's 4 rules and you will win financially. You have not budgeted like this.